Guys, this is a more unserious video. And never take me as a hateful guy, but I really do hate it when people sort of like take your advice through osmosis, but then regurgitate it back to you as if you didn't just tell them that like a week or two ago. I can't take it. I have a friend of mine who will remain unnamed, but I swear to God, I'm telling him stuff and it comes back to me like a boomerang, but like 1 or 2 weeks later, and that person's packaging it as their idea. Like, you motherfucker, that's my idea, okay? And are you stupid and you can't remember that I told you? Like, are you fucking with me? Or are you stupid and you don't even remember? Like, how are you smart enough to remember what I told you while you're sitting there scrolling on your phone, right? Not even able to pay attention to the conversation, right? How are you able to freaking remember what I told you and then but not actually register it and maybe even disagree and then present it as your own idea a week later? Like, guys, chill out with that nonsense, okay? Chill out with that nonsense, okay? People are they can't focus, okay? Their brain is like working a double shift, okay? Guys, get off your phones when you're hanging out with your bros, okay? Start paying attention to what people are saying, because I think some of the most annoying shit ever is when people are so self-absorbed that they just can't like pick up on what you're telling them because they already figured out what you want to, what they think, what they want to think that you're saying. They already figured out what they want to think of what you're saying to them. So if you give them new information, it's almost like they just put it in a box and put it in the back of their mind, and then like maybe they hit their head on the bed frame waking up and the box kind of just got jostled forward and just kind of like plopped to the front of their brain. They're like, oh, I've been doing everything wrong. Oh, I came up with this. This is my idea. Reminds me of that like one Somalian meme, like this is my ship now or something. Maybe I got that. Am I just like imagining things? Is that not a meme? It was something like, this is my beta chip now. And I feel really awkward talking about Somalians because like that became a thing recently. Like, oh my goodness. Guys, Somalians didn't used to be that deep, okay? It didn't used to be that deep. All right? I don't know why you guys made Somalians so deep, okay? It's not that deep, guys. They're just Somalians, okay? You'll be fine. Anyways, what was I saying? Yes. Okay. Let's be more lucid in 2026, guys. Let's watch long-form content with no cuts, no skips, one take. Okay? And let's have that playing in the background while we work on a soldering project, on a 2-hour-long soldering project. Let's have that in the background while we take a graceful walk around the block, okay? Let's have that in the background while we drive to work, okay? So that instead of listening to the freaking slop on CNBC or Joe Rogan podcast, you have a real one like Polunomics talking about BS straight into your ear with no cuts, okay? Talking real shit, okay? Look, we got to wake up as a society. We got to pay more attention to one another. We got to put the damn phones away, okay? We got to put the damn phones away. If I see one more phone coming out of someone's pocket while I'm talking to them, I swear to God, I will do a 360 and walk out, okay? I will do that. I will do that, okay? Shout out if you know where that came from, okay? Because I will always stay 500 feet away from a railroad when I am at a stop, okay? Shout out to that guy. You know who you are, bro. But let me tell you what, okay? I really do like that format, okay? And maybe this is just a random ass video. You know, maybe this video doesn't really matter too much, right? But in the grand scheme of things, you gotta blab sometimes. You gotta just let it out, okay? You gotta just talk. You know, this video wasn't originally supposed to be about what I was talking about. I still need to make another video on that, but seriously, I just, what is that? Like, let's try to break down what it is that makes someone, what is it? Like, I've noticed this in multiple people in my life over the years. They will regurgitate your ideas back to you as if it's a genius thing they just discovered in their mind. Like, why haven't I been doing this the whole time? It's like, I wish you were more critical of yourself and able to receive this input from someone that is genuinely interested in communicating with you and giving you responses. I wish you could just take the time to catalog it and process it in real time, you know? And you know, I do understand that people can think about stuff, but if you can't even remember where that information came from and you present it back to the person that gave it to you as new information, it's almost like a bit sick, you know? It's like a sick joke. Like, surely you know what you're doing, right? Surely you know what you just did. Like, come on, let's chill out, okay? Let's chill out and let's take a step back, all right? Because I feel like I'm getting caught up over something that maybe I'm just noticing stuff, okay? Maybe I'm just a big noticer, okay? Of human patterns, but I really do think it's the damn phones, guys. I think Instagram Reels is definitely rotting our brains. That's going to be another video for sure because, hey man, I'm a victim to it. I'm a victim to Reels rotting my brain. I mean, long story short, my cope is like, oh, I don't want to be out of the know. I don't want to be out of the loop, you know? Like, I don't want to not know what the hell is going on when people start talking about like 6'7s and chuds and stuff, you know? Like I don't want to be left behind. I don't want to be an unk. I don't want to be a boomer, you know? But, you know, I'm almost afraid that it's just going to build up and I'm not going to be able to stay relevant and be able to communicate because I feel like everyone's always just trying to outdo each other with new words, new terminology, new everything, you know? Like, everything's always got to be new. Everything's always got to be niche and ironic and so smart, like so smart. Like, you wouldn't even get my humor. It's just so smart. Like, you know, something really funny that I've noticed, and, you know, I you know, again, this doesn't matter at all, but I was pretty early to the whole retard maxing thing. I thought that shit was really funny. But, you know, seeing how that guy who's responsible for that channel is handling the fact that retard maxing is literally turning into a meme in front of his eyes, something that he probably never thought would escape the fishbowl, right? And really strike a chord with the normies, is kind of blowing up in his face. I mean, like, look, it's not blowing up in his face in the way that like, and in the way that like he looks like a fool or he's stupid or he did something wrong, but it's almost like the counterculture just became like normalized so quickly. I mean, people on Reels are literally copy pasting the format of how he speaks and like making Reels for short attention span people talking about retard maxing. And I know those guys kind of like treat it like a joke, like it's an inside joke, and it's, but that's the thing, it's turning into a meme. Like, in reality, what that really was like, it was like motivational content, pretty much. Like, it was thought-provoking, uncut, maybe not perfect. Like, it left in the nitty and the gritty for you to sift through, right? And it had some humor and all of that. But most importantly, it was something that wasn't supposed to be copied like that and turned into a stupid meme, and I can really see that he's a little pissed off in his videos, like I can see that it got to him a little bit because a lot of the things that were kind of like niche and epic to him are kind of like, hey man, you're a normie, like, hey man, you turned into a normie, your content turned into normie shit, bro. Like, he's going to bounce back from that stuff. You don't worry. He's the OG, he's the one who made that shit. And who knows, maybe he's not. That would be even crazier if he is not the original inventor of this whole retard maxing thing. That would be a twist. Now, someone's got to tell me in the comments if that's the case. That would be awesome. But seriously, guys, I think we need to get away from this short form content stuff. It's just not healthy. And like, maybe I'm just a boomer, but I've grown up watching like commentary videos on YouTube, and I thought it was really neat to be able to just sit down and just like, eat some food because I'm a glutton and just enjoy, watching someone rant for like 30 minutes straight. I thought it was cool to see someone's thought process and just see like where their mind kind of goes. And oh my God, as someone who's done the social media stuff, I'm guilty of it, but I had a goal in mind. I wanted to do pro racing, so I was willing to do whatever it took to get to that goal. And I got really close, but didn't quite pan out. But I remember editing those videos. It was so brain rotted, okay? I had to make sure the lighting was perfect. I had to make sure that my clothes was perfect, my hair was perfect, my hat was perfect, the way I was talking was perfect. I wasn't talking too slow. That I cut out every single but and pause, like make sure that there's like some movement in the camera to draw their eyes, and like make sure to add a caption so that they're looking at the short for another like second, because that extra second boosts you in the algorithm, stuff like that. Like, freaking slave to the algorithm, man. Like, just complete sellout. And like, I'm not above it, like, you gotta do what you gotta do to survive, like, maybe I'll make shorts out of this content, but and if YouTube's pushing towards shorts, and if shorts are doing so well, then what choice do I have, right? Like, I do know for a fact that shorts boost your long form videos. And I'm pretty sure you can link to your long form videos in the shorts, right? So why not? Okay, so maybe I'm not above it, but I can criticize it. And I don't like it, okay? I don't like it. Don't like that culture. And I think it's messed up some of my friends, I think it really has messed up some of my friends. But the closer you get with your friends, the more comfortable you are with talking with them about stuff that's really on your mind. You can ask them like, hey man, did you know that you brought up something to me that I already perfectly explained to you and you kind of just shrugged it off back then? Did you know that you just rehashed what I told you 2 weeks ago? And maybe they'll be like, no man, holy shit, like what? That happened? And they'll be like, yeah man, it's pretty brain rot of you. And they'll be like, oh shit, my bad. Maybe you will literally change their way of thinking. Maybe you will change them for the better, because you're able to be confident in yourself and trust that your good friend can take some lighthearted criticism, can take some real man shit from you, like you can call him out and say like, hey man, are you paying attention like to what you're doing here? Like Let's lock in, okay? It's not the biggest deal, and maybe some people would think it's really annoying and facetious to bring up, but like a real one will at least consider what you're saying, and be like, well, I didn't know that. Thanks for telling me, man. They're not going to take it on the chin. They're going to roll with the punches, and maybe throw some back at you once they start waking up from the matrix, and start, thinking for themselves some more. So I really do notice, like, some of my friends when I say some of my friends, I really do bundle myself into that group, because I'm a slave to this whole mindset too. This like group think, social media kind of like crazy, I don't know, like everything has to be social media approved these days, right? To be like cool, and all these trends and stuff. Trends in general is what I'm trying to say. Like, I'm a slave to trends too, right? But I have seen some guys turning around and really like waking up to it and realizing like, I really was just a trend hopper. Oh, that really did happen quick. Oh, this whole science-based lifting thing, this is kind of dog shit. What the hell? This whole Jeff Nippard thing, like, this guy's a retard. Oh, damn. What does that say about me for blindly consuming this content, and agreeing with it, I guess we're getting some of that media literacy back, because with every new curveball that the internet age throws at us, humans have to adapt, right? And maybe we're just getting to the point where we're just adapting to that new curveball, like we're trying to push past and get to something more stable, more level ground, where we can just be more calm, tranquil, and think with a level mind about stuff. And where we're just able to sit down and watch, a 20-minute YouTube video with no cuts. Because when you talk with people, do you notice that some of these people talk at like 200 words per minute or like 300 words per minute? I mean, look, I don't know like the exact bar for like fast talking, but you get what I'm saying. It's like saying 200 IQ, okay? These are talking 200 words per minute, and they have like this weird social media accent where it's like, have you just been watching sped up content? Something I noticed some people do, which just boggles my mind. It just boggles my mind as someone who's able to sit down and watch like a 2-hour video on something, right? It boggles my mind that people actually watch a YouTube short, TikTok, or Reel and then press on the screen and speed it up. It boggles my mind. Like, do you not just feel like the most brain-rotted like caveman on the entire planet, that you have to literally speed up short form, already diet, like pre-processed, pre-chewed, baby puree instead of chicken content? Like, do you really have to make it that much like faster to digest? Guys, like, what are we racing to the most reels watched in 2026? Like, can't we just chill out here, okay? Find your peace, guys. Find something to do where you can find your peace. I've been walking around the block a lot lately, and originally I started because I'm trying to lose some weight. Now, I might not be, your fattest guy ever, but, trying to cut down, because your boy is 207 pounds and probably like 20% body fat. So it's not the greatest look, okay? Barely hanging on to some abs, all right? But in that process, I realized that walking around the block really does help ease your mind and kind of put yourself back in tune with the nature algo, okay? With the nature algorithm. We really are missing that. And I don't, make these videos trying to preach the correct answers to stuff. It's just that sometimes you notice something about society, or you notice something about people that's happening in the moment, and like all these guys that can kind of just sit down and talk to the camera for an extended period of time really get to flesh out and think, right? And maybe you're thinking in my biased point of view, right? Maybe you're thinking with me, and like maybe me just talking and just like my constant thought stream coming out and like a garden hose is overlapping your thought stream, right? So you can't really think clearly. But I think it does help to really see someone else's perspective, especially somebody that is really trying to push the status quo, and someone who's trying to go against like the forte, like someone who's just trying to, even that isn't afraid, right, to say stuff that could be perceived as wrong or is wrong. At least someone that has the guts to kind of just sit down there, not process or post-process the info, and just really let their raw mind, go out onto the internet like that. And that's the kind of content I'm enjoying watching the most. You don't always have to agree with these guys, but you have to at least respect the fact that they can sit there and deliver something, straight to a camera, straight to your screen, that is just like a raw thought stream, And yeah, some of these guys are biased, and so am I. I'm biased, guys. I'll be the first to say it. I'm biased. But you got to be confident in what you think. You got to have confidence, and you can't always be looking to other people for the answers to your own life, okay? So, but you can definitely be inspired by other people, and you can definitely learn, okay? We're humans. We learn from each other. The only reason why I'm speaking like this right now is because I learned this language. It's an incredible thing that I learned this language, and it's been passed down over the generations and evolved into something that I'm using right now in such a fluent manner, okay? The fact that I'm able to talk like this, and I'm able to talk really fast and slow, like, it's a gift, okay? It's a gift. It really is, okay? Like, think about that, okay? I'm 14 and this is very deep, but seriously, I'm 23 and this is very deep, okay? And that's the thing. I don't even feel like I'm 23, man. I just feel like a dumb 18-year-old or 16-year-old at heart, but the years are catching up with us all, guys, So, got to make the most out of it. Peace out. Might be one of my longest videos yet. Let me be completely transparent with the guys that are still here, which is probably very few. But who knows? Who knows if this channel blows up? Maybe some guys are going to be coming, kind of like checking the origin story out, right? About halfway into this video, maybe a quarter of the way into this video, I was like, oh, I blew it. I don't know where I'm going with this. Like, this topic wasn't good enough, but it really did sprout into something nice. And I'm not afraid to admit, like, I'm inspired by people. The retard Maxer guy, cool guy. I looked through his channel, you can see the evolution of his mind. Like, in my opinion, I think he finally hit nirvana, where he just stopped caring and was just like, this is what I think, guys. This is what I think. Okay, here you go. Here's my thought stream. All right, and let me add a comedic twist to it too. And let me just say stuff, and just be myself. Okay, for the first time ever. And it worked out for him. You can really see in his videos, especially if you sort it by popular, like, oh, you have developed a lot as a person. And I like the fact that he's also a gym guy too. You can tell, you can really tell, like, from his arms, like, holy shit, guy was a unit back in the day. Might not even be natty. Hey, I'm gonna talk my shit, come at me. But yeah, almost 25 minutes. So yeah, peace, guys. If you actually made it this far, you're a beast. Okay? You're a beast. You're beasting it. You're Mr. Beast. Peace, Mr. Beast.